a couple weeks back, I was having a conversation with a friend. And when we were having this conversation, we were sitting around talking about, how long should it take you to know whether or not you want a relationship with someone? In this friend's mind, my friend was like, yo, I feel like within 3 months of talking to somebody, 3 months, 90 days, whatever you want to call it, that's what it is. So within 3 months, you should know whether or not you want a relationship with somebody. Now, conversely, I was like, 3 months don't always give you everything that you need. Yes, you will learn a lot about a person within 3 months. Not saying that you won't. But at the same time, everybody has different circumstances, different baggage. And it just means you taking a different route and making your choice. Maybe in 3 months you don't know whether or not you want a relationship at that time, or it could be with that person. You may still be learning. So I felt like, it's a debatable topic. I feel like, rather than saying that we have this general time span of how long it should take, I feel like it could sometimes vary. What do y'all think?
I think I'm on the side of, because it's funny you mentioned that. I just read an article and I watched a video on. You can tell a lot in the first date. Like, and the first date doesn't have to be like extravagant. It has to be like a $200, $300 date. Like, to figure out if somebody like is somebody you want to have a relationship with. So, like, it could be something simple. You can go to a coffee shop for 30 minutes and realize. And it also depends on age. Depends on how, if you've been in a relationship before, long term relationship, short term. Because you kind of understand like what you're looking for. So like if you have a plan, you're out there in the dating sphere, and know what you're looking for. Like you're gonna have, it's gonna vary. So I don't think 3 months should be like a hard like hold on whether it should be a relationship where you're gonna pursue somebody. It could really be as soon as a month or even a week, honestly, depending on what you're looking for. Because I mean, if you kind of get, if you've been dating for a while, you kind of can see the red flags or the good things you're looking for. So I mean, it really varies. It depends. So in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think it takes that long to know. I mean, because we're talking about, this is a relationship, not like you're moving in with somebody and doing all that. So I mean, yeah, I feel like shit, after a couple of days, I can tell like, oh, after like 2-3 days, and I feel like after 2-3 days, you can be like, yeah, this is not gonna work, or oh, this is interesting. I like to see more of this, and from there you can relationship, whatever. I don't. To me, just being in a relationship, that can mean a lot of things, but after 2-3 days, I don't see why not. I mean, we're just. A date is just like, oh, we went to Chipotle and spent like 10 minutes together, and maybe that's
not a little bit more.
Yeah, but I think you can definitely tell after hanging out with somebody after a while. Maybe not really if you wouldn't be in a relationship, but you can definitely tell if, oh, this is like, no, this is not gonna work. Like I think you can tell that in one date. My personal opinion. So I mean, like 3 months. I mean, shit, after 3 months, I mean, damn, like, is the other person gonna sit there and be like, oh, yeah, let's try 4 months, 5, 6, you know what I mean? I think after 3 months, I think most people are kind of gonna start asking questions if you're dating consistently.
My cliche answer is that it varies, honestly, because a lot of times, and what I was talking about with a friend of mine is like, sometimes you got to consider like whether the person has been through a bad breakup previously, whether the person like has like any other type of issues like that, because it might take them a while to finally get comfortable to be like, all right, let's move this to the next step. I mean, you can definitely like within like 3 months and like you guys said, like maybe even a week or two, tell if you're vibing or if there's some type of connection or if it's a possibility that you guys can get along. But as far as like moving to the next step of a relationship, maybe some people are scared of commitment because they had that bad breakup, and so they don't necessarily trust or necessarily want to be or take things to the next level. They want to take things slow. So a lot of times, in my opinion, it just varies, and it also depends on like the age to me as well. Like so, if you're young, like in college, sometimes it might be easier to like to spend more time with that person, but as opposed to like. And also it's like on the flip side, like when you're older, like you know what you want, like you said, you kind of know what you're looking for, specifically, like you kind of like see through all the bullshit that a young person won't really catch right away, but at the same time, you're both working, and I know as many people our age realize now, 3 months go by like that, you get what I'm saying? So like you can quickly pass and you look up and like, damn, like it's already been 3 months we've been talking, like we haven't really had like any serious conversations, and at that point, like when you're around our age, you're thinking about something. You're thinking past the relationship essentially. I mean, some people are just looking to date, but the older you get, the more you're looking at like, like possibly marriage or possibly kids. Like you're having the conversation become a lot more serious. So I think like so they hold more weight. So it's not like you're balancing like just being in a relationship with that person. You're also balancing those things as well. Like you're balancing finances, you're balancing like a whole bunch of things. So I mean that doesn't really answer the question, but I really do think like it varies on a case to case basis. So 3 months like as a flat line, like everybody should know by 3 months. Like I don't think that works.
Yeah, it's the same thing that I was saying. Like, I kind of feel like, within that time span, it's like, I feel like people are just different. I feel like Darian was saying, like, like you never know what other people have been through. You never know the situations that you've had. You never know a lot of things in life. They may change. Like, maybe you felt like, within month 1, yeah, I want this relationship. I'm ready. This is my girl. Like, yeah, I love this girl. And then, like, you get to month 2.
It's called infatuation.
I'm just saying. But that's what I'm saying. But, like, but it's like he just said, like, but it's like, Aaron just said, like, like after like you can know after 1 date.
Right.
Yeah, but you may be like infatuated as hell. You may be stuck on all the good things that person does. Then in month 2, you may visit this person's like house and be like, oh my God, you got roaches. I can't do this. Like, I'm just saying it may be
Buenas noches with the roaches.
it may vary. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like there's so many factors that may go into it. Or you may be getting out of a bad relationship yourself where you like, you may have loved somebody. You may be like, I love this girl I was just with. Man, I gave her my heart. I gave her my soul. She was my fucking cinnamon apple. Like, it can
never love again.
Like, yeah.
But I think in that point, though, Dante, it's like you gotta, all right, so say, for example, like, I'll play devil advocate a little bit. So, if you're the man that's going into the relationship, like, in that first month, you have to be, like, you have to have a plan of action. You have to be mature enough to open up in that spirit, though, in a way. Like, if you are coming off a tough breakup, you have to, like, let the other person. I'm not saying you have, like, a duty to do it, but I'm just saying it's going to be healthier for the long-term relationship if you tell somebody up front, like, hey, this is what I've gone through. This is why I'm taking it slow. This is why, because then you get to the point where you're just like, the other party is playing a guessing game, right? Are they into me? Are they not into me? And then you, as the other party, have to make a decision. Is this worth, in a quick amount of time, like in the first month, to make a decision like, hey, is this worth my time or worth my energy that's going to take to get past this boundary or to get past this wall to, pursue a relationship with this individual? So I think that, it kind of varies with Darian's saying, but I think that you have to have a clear, like, I think a lot of people go into dating and in a relationship or trying to find a relationship without a plan. Like,
I agree that you gotta open up, but you gotta realize you said man and open up in the same sentence. Like,
I know
that shit doesn't happen.
But it's so freeing though, I think, in a way though. Because,
no, it is.
Because when you are open,
when you straightforward,
yeah.
I almost said never mind. When you straightforward with these girls, like it just y'all know what I'm saying. Like it makes things so much better. Like,
it is. It does make things. I agree. It makes things so much better. Is it easy? Absolutely not.
All right.
But it is very liberating and very freeing to tell a person up front what you're going through and what you're, and then it sets the tone for the rest of the relationship or the dating, whatever that needs to progress through.
So, I feel like this is probably a pretty answerable question that I'll figure out myself after I say it. Are you saying that a person would then be quote unquote selfish if I don't feel like disclosing that and I just kind of keep going with the situation, not laying false hope or false expectations, but just kind of, vibes?
That's not your. I don't think.
But you could just say that though, right?
What?
Like, I don't know. I mean, you could just like, I'm just looking for something casual right now.
So you said
Words.
It doesn't. I'm not trying to say it has to be. Casual. I guess. Casual can be casual can be one word to describe that. Mm-hmm. But I'm just saying, generally speaking, if you don't open up like you're saying, and you just kind of like go with it, you're like, yeah, I'm not sure if this is where the relationship I want is right now, but at the same time, I like you. Mm-hmm. This is cool. We got vibes going on. I'm not really. Maybe for like certain people, it's like, I'm not really looking or talking to nobody right now, but I just.
I don't think the other party though, in a way, is asking enough questions though, or asking the right questions in a way.
What do you think they should ask them?
They should ask like, what's the longest relationship? Have you? When was your most previous relationship? Like, you need to ask.
You know what's funny? Questions like that scare me the fuck away.
Okay, but I mean, if somebody like,
or you
okay,
can be
cool, you
honest
should
with
be
your
honest.
intentions.
Yeah, I think
Fair, but I don't feel like what I said is not being dishonest with my intentions.
Yeah.
Sometimes
You shouldn't be out. You shouldn't be out here like being trying to date somebody if you have your guard up in a way.
If
Like
you
you're not healed at that
If
point.
you're like on the third date, you should probably at that point tell
Yeah,
somebody,
shit.
"Oh, this is what I'm looking for," and like I might just be looking just to casually date, right? And I really do like you, but I mean,
There's nobody's
it's gonna
fault
take
but the other
time. That's
person.
what I'm saying. Like it goes back to
Because
just
I mean,
being
you're along with the ride.
Yeah. Some people might be okay just to sit there and we casually date, just whatever, or if the person is expecting you to make a decision soon, like if you're not ready to do it, if you just say all this shit up front, I feel like
it
all
makes
this
your life
is
so much easier.
Instead of
Because if shit blows up and then you be like, I told you, like this is what I wanted.
Yeah.
Look, the possibility of saying things up front is always the perfect world scenario.
Yes.
We are people and human beings. I'm just saying, it's like you just. I mean,
Okay,
you're
but-
smarter than me. Like,
But I'm just saying, if you don't do that,
it.
then at that point the
saying.
duty falls upon the
setting
person that's
yourself
trying
up.
to date you. Then.
And I'm not trying. I'm just
Answer right
saying.
questions.
But how often are people not sitting around in the situation where they're like, what we're talking about right now, where it's like, you've been dating somebody for like a couple months and you never may have asked that question. It may not have come up.
That's on you though.
Fair enough.
You should be but you should be
But
mad at anybody.
But here's the thing that I will say. Should you automatically, and that's like the second part of this, should you automatically jump to the conclusion of if we're not figuring this out within the time span that we previously set up, that somebody may or may not be wasting your time? Should you automatically jump to that conclusion? Rather than because I know a lot of people, when you feel like, oh man, we didn't get this straight within a month, maybe you may jump to the conclusion of, oh, this person playing with me. Should you automatically jump to that? Or should you try to think of it a little differently and be like, all right, cool, this ain't where we're at right now, but it don't mean that, it's the negative, or it doesn't mean it's
but if you have that conversation in front, like, this is what I'm looking for. If you want to put a time frame on it, this is what I'm looking for. It's probably going to take some time for me. And the other person can come back and say, I'm ready to move on to the next step in my life, which is marriage, kids. Not saying like gonna jump to that extreme, but like that's why you have to get these things out in the open, right? Instead of just leaving things up to chance. You leave shit up to chance, and after a while you are wasting your time. Everybody's just like, oh, go along, get along, everything's good, and then deep down you're like, oh, what are we and all that. And that's man or woman.
Yeah.
Like just be like honest. That's the best advice I give somebody in a relationship, is just to be honest and say what you feel.
Yeah, eventually gonna bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
And that goes on both sides. So if the guys or women is saying hey, I'm not I don't want to be in a serious relationship anytime soon, or I can't really put a date on it. It's up to you to be honest about hey, after 3 months, I don't know if I can stay around.
Yeah.
You gotta be honest in that front too.
And at that point, you
I'm
might
not
have
saying
to.
it's easy though.
No, it's not easy.
But the only way to. You have to have answers.
Yeah.
You can't leave shit up to interpretation. All that. You have to have hard answers for it to work. And the thing is, sometimes those answers are not going to be what you want to hear.
Yeah.
And that's just
Most
how
of
it
the time.
is.
I'm about to say a lot of
So,
times it ain't gonna be
fucking hurts.
but I'd rather get the truth, and it fucking stings me than having to just be strung along. So shit,
I'd rather get the truth early when there's not as many feelings involved. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
that too. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, you gotta dive in deep, man. You gotta ask the right questions.
Yeah,
You should get a whole question in.
I'm not saying the first date,
Y'all
y'all.
an assessment out for me.
Not the first date. You don't gotta be like RPM or some shit, and you're like, all right.
Well, wait, the first
What do you want?
RPM?
What do you want?
Some niggas be doing that. Some niggas be
I'm gonna
doing
tell you right
that.
now, that's a red flag. You take a chick out of RPM the first jump.
Okay.
Nah, but if niggas making money like that,
I-
then
No,
they-
it's not even about the money. You setting the tone in the wrong direction, bro.
Okay. My point. Okay.
You get it.
tell me
Fine, we
my
get
point.
off. Go ahead.
I'm about to go
Sorry.
off. I'm about to go off.
I love RPM.
I'm about to go off on this red
My
flag.
point was like, the first date, you're just like, oh, what do you want? What do you want to buy? Do you want this? Do you want that? So I'm not saying
Yeah, I don't like all that.
doing that.
Yeah.
But like, if you're dating somebody, if you have a second, third date, at that point, like, you guys can most likely are capable of having conversations. There's something you like about that person. So at some point, you don't gotta sit there and grill them, put the light on.
No, the thing is,
Yeah,
like,
second or third date.
those questions aren't. But the thing is,
no.
those questions aren't hard hitting though, because they're actually really cute questions to ask in the beginning of a relationship.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, how many kids do you want?
Yeah.
Oh, blah, blah. Like those are some
I wish the
those are some
woman
really
would
casual. Oh, those are really
Depending
casual
on the
questions.
age again.
Yeah, those are some casual questions that sometimes are really
And you
deep
need
hit,
the
are hard hitting.
answers to them,
Yeah.
right? And you're entitled to the answers.
Do you ever want to
them,
get
in my
married?
opinion,
Do
if
you
you're
ever see
dating
yourself?
somebody.
Blah blah blah. Like those are like
All right,
casual
even
questions.
if your truth is I don't know.
Yeah.
That can be a truth.
Yeah, right now, like,
And that person got to
now-
take that with.
Now,
as
6
a-
months from now, from that, if you're still saying I don't know, then I have a problem. But if the
6 months.
person, whatever, just in the future,
Nah.
like if it's still I don't know, that is. But like initially, if you just don't know, don't answer, fine. But just be direct and let people know what you're looking for, and don't string people along. You know, just tell people what you
It's
feel.
hard though,
I'm
man.
not
That's
saying
people
stringing
on.
people along.
You know, if you're trying to you taking a shot at RPM,
And you trying not to hurt
you really trying to
feelings.
fuck on them. To be honest.
What the?
Wait, y'all talking about two different
That
things.
was
No, I'm just saying. My bad. I'm just saying, Aaron, you first date, you fucking trying to fuck on.
We went two different directions.
Malik go down, he'll be at the top of the backboard.
I'm just saying. You trying to get your RPM, you trying to fuck on it.
Not necessarily, bro.
Bro, who the fuck?
Bro, if you making a lot of
First
money,
date?
RPM might be slight to you, son.
No.
If you make a lot of money,
I'm
you're not taking
sorry.
them to
I
Outback or
apologize.
McDonald's.
I'm not taking no. Okay, but RPM like 200.
Generic restaurant,
Oh,
generic
God.
nice restaurant number 3. We'll call it that. Whatever. Just
I'm the RPM. They can hella cut it.
I'm just saying, bro. It's
He gets the
other
third,
spots.
he gets the fifth toast.
Yeah, no
fifth
bullshit. Like
Go ahead,
my
man.
point was just.
Reiterate your statement, my brother. I'm sorry. I apologize.
But just be honest.
To the
and, like,
Italian
You
spot.
know, like I just think relationships work best when like people know what everybody's intentions are.
I don't feel like it's not that you're right. People should absolutely know what each other's intentions are. But I guess when it just literally, not to play semantics, but when it comes to like this feeling of having your time wasted, I guess for me, I'm kind of more so along the lines of like, look, man, sometimes you can figure things out relatively quickly. Within like you said, like within like a week, first date, you may know, God, I love this girl, I want to be
Or
with her.
at least you know she's not fucking
Yeah,
trash.
yeah, yeah.
So like,
But
I'm willing to
alright,
see
fine,
what
so you
happens
put the
next.
bar at the floor, yes. But I'm just
You know what I
saying,
mean?
generally speaking. But then maybe like, you're going through your own things in your head, which yes, you do to an extent owe somebody some type of explanation if you're going through certain things and you're like in a recovery mode. I'm with you there. But I just feel like we as a society sometimes take things so personal, we automatically jump to this person wrong me. They're trying to offend me. It's disrespect.
They're trying to offend me.
Like, bro, and I just kind of
Offend.
yeah,
Don't play with Donnie.
and I got you. I'm just saying, but it's just like we automatically jump to conclusions, and that's just us as human beings. We jump to these conclusions and we automatically think everybody playing with us, everybody wasting our time. And I've seen it from like so many people like across the board and like so many different aspects where they automatically jump to like this disrespect thing if like somebody don't know something within the same span of time as them. And it's just like, look, just because it took somebody a little bit longer to figure something out doesn't mean that they're a bad person. It don't even mean they don't care. It just means that, we're all so different and going through so many different things. Like, yeah, maybe I really do like this girl, but I mean, do I really want to chase her off by sitting here and being like, yeah, so, low key, like, I still be having thoughts of, like, this girl I used to talk to, like, like, a few months ago. Like, don't leave, though.
But is it not better just to say that and then
I don't think
what
you
she
should.
said?
No, you shouldn't.
I would
say
think
that.
whatever. My point is,
That's not things you should say.
isn't it better? Is it better to just say I'm not sure right now, and then let that person
Yes.
make the decision on
Yes.
their end?
I
That's
think
what I'm
that-
saying.
I think you
Like,
can do
just
that.
Communicate.
I mean, if you say that,
Sorry.
you just a dumbass because like.
Wait, why?
Because if you're saying you're unsure, like, why are you even here? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, like, if a girl told me, like, we were dating or we were going out on a date, second, third date, and she told me she's unsure, like, at that point, like, I am offended because, like, why are you telling me unsure? Why are you here? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not.
Maybe she's
Because she
trying
wants
to
to
get
explore.
stored.
But I'm not. I'm just saying. But then this goes into why we vary because I am here. I mean, I'm on the scale. You're on this scale. I'm on this scale. Like I'm on the scale trying to look for someone.
And you can make
why you offending me because you're out here at this dating space and you're unsure. I'm not here to be like a guinea pig or test subject for you to know.
I mean,
You want to
technically-
test
Bro, dating is literally a test subject.
No, but not at that level though.
Well,
Like,
then-
third
you
date,
want to
yes.
enter the game. You need to be able to. You need
Well,
to
that point,
understand you want to play. Bro.
Sometimes
Sometimes
it's-
So then you make the executive choice. You snip. Like
No, I get that. I'm just saying I'm offended. at that point.
Well, that's you.
But that's what I was saying. It's like, yo, look, just because people aren't sure of things, sometimes it don't mean that they're like against you as a person.
they're just
It
not
just
sure.
may be a thing where it's like, because I want to figure it out.
Like,
I still do.
it
like
could
Nah,
be-
you trying to get a date.
Nah, it could be I like you, but I just got out this bad breakup. Like, I don't really trust niggas like that, so I'm not trying to get into another relationship. So, like, I want to take my
And it
time.
should just be okay. That's cool, and
And then after you move from there.
Yeah. But if that's not cool for you, if that's like your line,
I'm
then
not
you-
saying like I'm
And we're
gonna be
all
like
equal.
blown or something, but I would just be like,
No,
I would take it
I'm
and
gonna
I'd be
fall
like,
back.
alright, I'm gonna fall back. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah, and
That's all you.
that's my thing. That's completely your choice.
Yeah.
But I just feel like sometimes, in terms of like the whole, you're taking offense to it. It's kind of like she didn't try to be offensive. She may just still be on a date because she does like you, but she is figuring out whether she wants to do this.
Maybe it's how you dress it though, because she told me like,
semantics.
I mean, because she dressed it up and tells me like, hey, I'm a little unsure about how I move, or I had a bad breakup. Okay, now we're unraveling this layer by layer. Like, maybe if she just told me I'm unsure about us because I had a bad breakup, or you know, what I'm saying, but I like you. You know, what I'm saying, and I like the way
That's
this is
good.
going.
She
Well, I'm
being
like,
honest.
okay, well, I like that. Like,
There
if
you
she
go.
just told me I'm unsure about getting into the dating sphere and moving forward because I had a tough relationship, and that's it.
Mhm.
Then at that point, I'm offended because I'm like, damn, what the fuck?
at that point you can leave. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
that's
it's
what
up
I'm
to
saying.
you.
But everything is on the
Checklist.
table, though. That's all you can ask for.
So fair, I'll give you that. Yes, putting things on the table will always make it better. I guess it's just always like, you know, we're always gonna hear what we want to hear and think what we want to think. I guess it's just like the level of conclusions that we all jump to within time spans and the way people operate within them. Like, yeah, fine, I get it. Everybody ain't gonna be ready for the same time span. It is all relative. Yes, to a certain extent, you should know certain things. Fair. And you should be honest. But it's just like, yo, look, we all have so much going on sometimes. You don't know every aspect of a person. And when you're dating them, let's be honest, like the first month or so, you're dating the representative. You're not really dating them.
big facts.
You're dating like the person that they're sending to the date. So yeah, I'm not gonna sit around and disclose certain things. Like, yeah, I may tell you, yeah, I broke up with someone recently. I'm not gonna let you in on the mental of like every little thing I'm going through and kind of be like, you know, I'm having some not unhealthy thoughts, but you know, I'm still going through some things. I'm still figuring me out. I'm still doing this and that. And yeah, so like in the perfect ideal world, everything that you're saying about honesty and just being upfront, it comes into play. But it's just so hard when you're dating somebody because we're all so scared when we're getting to know someone of being too honest. You're like walking
Let no
on a
shit
tightrope
down,
that
bro.
whole time, and you're just like, bruh, if I'm too honest, they're gonna walk away and think, or they gonna think like you're saying that, you know, I'm playing with them. And it's like, yo, I'm not playing with you. I'm honestly just trying to figure it out. And it's just not easy for us. It's like, bruh, you can have the perfect girl of your dreams sitting in front of you. Like, you know, I don't know what your perfect girl is. She can be everything that you want. But she just may be still trying to piece it all together and put these things into a good place. It don't mean that she BSing you. It don't mean that she don't like you. It just means that she just figuring it out. And I mean, look, we all got to be afraid of how much we tell people because based on how much we tell people, they going to cut you off tomorrow. Like, if I'm too honest, a girl going to stop texting me to a certain extent. If I'm sitting there telling her all my issues, she's not going to respond. Like, that's just life. Like, you know, we all have our limit. And I'm not saying she's wrong for that, but it's the truth. If I tell her too much, yes, she is going to stop. So I guess it's just like finding that perfect sweet spot between honesty, vulnerability, and, you know, just protecting yourself.
Yeah, that vulnerability piece is like key. If you think about it like armor, like if you take your armor down for somebody and you get hurt like really badly, like you're not gonna take off your armor for a lot of other people after that, especially men. Like men are very slow to like be vulnerable, like to like with women or be vulnerable in relationships. So a lot of us, like, it takes a long time to really uncover that. And so I think like it's important like for people, like if somebody says like I'm not sure or I want to take my time, we'll give them if you want, like give them that time like to really like get in that place because the relationship would be better for it. Like if you kind of force them or you're expecting them to be on your timeline, like things might not work out the exact same way. Because like when you think about it, like two individuals aren't going to ever be on the exact same time. Well, I mean, maybe it's possible, but like it's highly unlikely that both of you are going to be on the exact same timeline. Like, oh, we're both ready for a relationship. We're both ready to move things for the next step at the same time. Like, no, like one person's going to have gone through one bad breakup. One person is going to be wanting to wifey on the first week. You get what I'm saying? Like, so it goes back to it varies for real.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a complex topic. You know,
Yeah,
human
man.
emotions are extremely complex. Is what we learn every time we talk about stuff like this. I feel like emotions are fickle. All right. I mean, yeah, we're at 43 minutes here. I mean, do we have anything else you want to get at that, or you know?
Take your time, Pastor.
Yeah,
Just take your time.
Take your time, man. Take your time.
That's your advice.
Yes.
You know?
That legit is my advice.
I want to talk to you. Yo, that's what I've been saying.
Do it on your time, on both ends. Like if you're like, I don't know, like on both ends.
Bro, like, just, take your time, and yeah, if you feel like you're taking a little more normal than usual, then yeah, be honest. Yes, that is important, but take your time.
But to the people on the other end though, like I hope they understand what we're saying. Like some people are on different times. Like you can't just be like 3 months or nothing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
Guard your heart, but don't jump to conclusions.
Yeah, that's.
Respect other people's time, man. Like you said.
True. Both parties have to
Yes,
respect
that is true too.
Yes.
That is true too.
Both parties,
I'll give you
yes.
that.
If someone doesn't want to give you that time, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, ask the right questions because
Yes.
at the end of
That
the
is
day,
true,
if
too.
you don't got your questions prepared, or it's like an interview. It's an interview, honestly. I'm gonna lie to you. Like you said, it's in a representative.
Pretty much,
yeah.
See your best person.
Absolutely.
Well, you need to ask some good You need to ask some good follow-up questions, some good qualifying questions. And if you don't have those prepared, you can only be mad at yourself at a certain extent about not. Humans are layered. I mean, are onions, but like layers. You know what I'm saying? Layer by layer. Layer by layer.
That's what's tea.
Child dance. But anyway,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That is, if you're not able to peel that layer, that onion behind and the layer, then you're just not gonna be in a good spot. So, don't be mad at anyone but yourself. Honestly.
Damn, that's smooth.